Sexy Picks with Big Sexy. Now we are going to dive into week 4 of the NFL season. Nonetheless, let's get right into it. All right, so first match on the docket, we got the Dallas Cowboys going into the Meadowlands to play the New York Giants. Thursday night matchup, first divisional matchup for the Cowboys this year, second for the New York Giants. Like I said in my week 3 breakdown towards the end of the video, go watch it. It's a really good episode. You know, these are two teams that are hungry to get back on track here. The Giants finally got their first win. Dallas Cowboys are not starting off the season very good. You know, they were pretty close to making a comeback against Baltimore in that game. They fell just a little short. You know, as far as this matchup goes, the Dallas Cowboys have had the Giants number. I don't know, man. You know, I was really impressed with the way the Giants played against the Browns in the first half. I think I really hate to pick Dallas here, but I'm gonna pick Dallas just because they've had our number for the past few years. Anytime I've ever picked the Giants to beat Dallas, I've been completely, utterly wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Dallas here in hopes that the Giants will prove me wrong and beat the Cowboys. Please? So, yeah, on to the next one. All right, so now we got the Jacksonville Jaguars going into Houston and playing the Houston Texans. Jacksonville Jaguars just got absolutely annihilated on Monday night. They got some problems over there. The Jags are in real trouble. And C.J. Stroud also got their, you know, him and the Texans got their asses handed to them against Minnesota. But I still feel like Houston is head and shoulders better than the Jaguars. Though this is a divisional game, you know, divisional opponents always play each other tough. I'm going to take the Houston Texans here by at least 10. All right, so now we got the New Orleans Saints going into Atlanta and playing the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons, man, they got screwed. They got screwed. Controversial no call against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday night. In my opinion, I seen the play develop. I personally thought myself that it was pass interference, but they didn't call it, so there it is. Now the Atlanta Falcons are sitting at 1-2, and they could have easily been 2-1. And the Saints kind of definitely stunk up the joint a little bit against the Eagles. It was a very defensive game, that game was. I definitely think that Philly gave them some trouble a little bit on defensive side of the ball. The Saints were pretty explosive in their previous 2 games other than that offensively. So for them to go from putting up like 40 plus on each opponent and then putting up 12 was a little bit of a shock. But nonetheless, here we are. They're 2-1. I think, call me crazy, but I'm going to pick the Falcons here. I'm going to pick the Falcons to win this game. I'm going with the Falcons. So next matchup, we got the Cincinnati Bengals going into Carolina, play the Carolina Panthers. Man, what is going on in Cincinnati? That's just the question that comes right up in my mind. I mean, this is a game they should have won against the Commanders, and they just blew it. It was a very offensive game. I don't know where the hell the defense is for Cincinnati, but it's just not there. And then Carolina coming and getting their first win. Who'd have thought? The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. Maybe this is an Andy Dalton revenge game. Who knows? I don't know, man. I want to pick the Bengals here, but they got to show me something. They got to show me something. Give me the Panthers, I guess. All right, so now we got the Los Angeles Rams going into Chicago and playing the Chicago Bears. Duh, Bears. Man, Los Angeles looked impressive against San Francisco. Matt Stafford pulling off his fourth quarter magic yet again. You know, I didn't even know this. He's actually top 10 all time in fourth quarter comebacks. I didn't even realize that until I watched the game. It was insane. They put up a good fight against a good San Francisco team. And then the Chicago Bears, I mean, their defense is good. Their offense has still got some glaring issues that need working out. You know, Caleb Williams threw for a lot of yards. I think the stat line was 33 of 52 for 363 yards. And 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. You know, it's like on one end, you're like, yeah, Caleb Williams had 363 yards. Great. Also threw the ball 52 times. That's a lot of throws. And, you know, only complete 33 passes means he had 18 incomplete passes. It's just like, wow. You know, it's like that kind of puts things into perspective. But, you know, rookies are going to do rookie things. And until he figures out to get the ball out of his hands quick, he's going to run into these kind of problems. As far as this game goes, I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams by 7. So we got the Minnesota Vikings going into Green Bay and playing the Packers. Sam Darnold is like having like an MVP caliber season so far. It's insane. And Packers just keep on rolling with Malik Willis. They're saying, keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is. I think right now, I think Minnesota just keeps rolling on this train that they're on, man. They keep proving me wrong about winning against teams they shouldn't win against. It's hard to pick against them. I'm going to take the Vikings here. I'm going to take the Vikings by 7. All right, so we got the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Indianapolis and playing the Colts. Colts got some things that they got to work through a little bit. They're coming off a win, which is good. Anthony Richardson needs to tone down the turnovers a little bit. Nonetheless, they're coming off a win. I think Pittsburgh just keeps finding a way to win games. That's all it's about in the NFL. Justin Fields is playing some pretty solid football for them right now. Got I think a 78% completion rating over the course of 3 games, which is pretty good. I like the Steelers in this matchup. I'm not going to pick against them until they lose, so go Steelers. All right, so we got the Denver Broncos going into the Meadowlands and playing the Jets. Denver looked impressive last week against the Buccaneers. Sorry, Brian. They showed some fight, and Bo Nix actually played a pretty good game. And the Jets kept on rolling. They beat the snot out of the Patriots on Thursday night. I just think right now that the Jets are a slightly better football team, so give me the Jets here by 10. All right, so we got a Gilbert household matchup here. We got the Philadelphia Eagles going into Tampa Bay and playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bet you Tampa Bay's pretty hungry to put up a better showing than they did against the Broncos. Philly's coming off of a solid win against a good team. Their offense didn't look that great in that game. They got the job done. This game's kind of a tough call. I really think that at times Philly can look like a really good team, and then at other times they just look mediocre at best. Tampa Bay had 2 really good games, and then they kind of put up a dud against the Broncos. So, I mean, this is a really tough game to decide. I'm going to say that home field advantage has a slight play in this, and I'm going to go with the Buccaneers in this game by a slight margin. I'm going to say the Buccaneers by 3. All right, so we got the Washington Commanders going into Arizona and playing the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I think that Washington looked great against Cincinnati. Jaden Daniels finally got a couple of touchdown passes, the first pair of his career. Their offense looked really good against Cincinnati. I don't know if it was more that their offense looked really good or Cincinnati's defense just looked terrible. You know what? They got the job done. And then you got the Arizona Cardinals coming off a couple really tough losses here. One in week 1 against the Buffalo Bills and then one against Detroit last week. This is a tough game. I think this is going to be a really good game. I'm going to go with the Commanders here. Commanders had a really good showing against the Bengals, so I'm gonna stick with the Commanders on this one. All right, so we got the New England Patriots going into San Francisco and playing the Niners. Man, the Niners need a win. They just haven't looked the same. I think that's partially due to Christian McCaffrey being out. They definitely need to step it up here. They got a good opportunity to do so against a pretty bad New England team. I'm gonna take the Niners in this one. This is a game they should win decisively. All right, so we got the Kansas City Chiefs going into LA and playing the Chargers. Kansas City Chiefs, man, they just frustrate me. They frustrate me so much. Because anytime they play in a close game, then somehow the refs get involved and gift them a win some way, somehow. You really hate to see it, and I hate to be that guy saying that about a team. The Chiefs are a team that doesn't need the refs' assistance to win games, but they seem to get it anyway. It is what it is. You know, this is the new team that the NFL believes in, so that's going to happen. This is the new age New England Patriots, folks. The Chiefs will some way, somehow will their way into a win here against the Chargers. Give me the Chiefs. All right, so we got the Cleveland Browns going into Vegas and playing the Raiders. Yep, talk about 2 teams that need to, get back on track here. 2 really disappointing showings for both teams. When is it going to be time for the Browns to turn to Jameis Winston and bench Deshaun Watson? Boy, there's a little bit of a mess going on in Vegas with the Raiders right now. I guess Antonio Pierce came out in the press conference after the game, said that there were some players that made some business decisions, taking themselves out of the game in a sense. And they got beat by the worst team in the league. Like literally the worst team in the league. These two teams got beat by two of the worst teams in the league. Puts this in a nutshell. So now these two are some of the worst teams in the league, so we're going to have a garbage fest. I'm going to take the Raiders in this garbage fest. All right, we got Buffalo going into Baltimore and playing the Baltimore Ravens. Man, the Bills look good, don't they? Wow, they look impressive. Josh Allen has not missed a beat. Josh Allen has 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, folks. 0. You know, all the talk about Josh Allen, and his turnovers. He has heard you, and he has raised you with 0 turnovers so far in this season. Their offense looks unstoppable. Just really stellar work. And then the Ravens put up a pretty good showing against the Cowboys. Almost choked it away. Almost did, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So the Ravens finally got their first win of the season. I think Buffalo keeps rolling on here. I think Buffalo wins this game. Give me the Buffalo Bills by 7. All right, so we got the Tennessee Titans going into Miami and playing the Miami Dolphins. And this is a Monday night game. Oh my God. Oh, this is going to be awful. This is going to be an awful game. This is a game that I will not be tuning into. I think the Titans get their first win of the season here because I just feel like I trust. This is going to be weird coming out of my mouth saying this, but I feel like I trust their offense more than I trust Miami's. Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, we'll take the Titans here and see how it goes. All right, then the final matchup. We have the Seattle Seahawks going into Detroit playing the Lions. This is the Monday night game you're going to want to turn into, folks. This was a hell of a game last year when they played in the regular season, and it's going to be a hell of a game this year. The Seahawks look really good. The Lions at times don't look so good, but then other games they look good. I'm going to take an upset here. Well, upset as far as record goes. I'm going to take the Lions in this game. I'm going to take the Lions. I feel like they have something to prove. I feel like they need to have one of those signature games where they just dominate the line of scrimmage, use that beefy offensive line that they got. I'm taking the Lions. Those are my picks this week, folks. Those are the Sexy Picks brought to you by Big Sexy. Make sure you like this video, comment down below, tell me what picks you agree with, what you don't agree with, or tell me my picks are awesome, or tell me they suck. Anyway, we love the engagement on the video. Make sure you follow all of our socials. BG does a pretty good job of putting that in here for us. Stay tuned throughout the rest of the season, man. A wild season so far. We've got a lot left to go. So with that being said, I am Big Sexy, and Big Sexy out.